Happy Pride, comrades. I think it's important to acknowledge the long way we've come. Marriage equality is now all but the law of the entire land. But we've largely fought this battle without challenging the societal hegemony of coupling or questioning why it takes two incomes to run a household in the society. And now we can serve openly in the military unless you're trans. But we fought this battle without questioning the utter devastation that the U.S. empire causes around the world at the expense of people in Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Palestine. In short, our aim should not be the simple achievement of these goals, but to see them as a step towards revolutionizing society at large. And in that, we've got a long way to go. Last year, if you recall, just as the Supreme Court struck down the federal DOMA, that very same week, the Supreme Court also struck down key provisions in the Voting Rights Act of 1965, making it easier for people to disenfranchise black people when it comes to voting. And if you look at that in the context of high-profile acts of police violence against the black community, it's especially heinous. Also, continuing laws restricting access to abortion services for many women, including waiting periods and the outright closure of clinics, is something that we're also not okay with. The continued stigmatization of HIV has led to an increase of infections, and the stigmatization of protecting yourself through such things as pre-exposure prophylaxis is also going on. And there's also ongoing issues of acts of violence, particularly against our trans comrades. And as queers, we should not see this as something that's okay. This year we've seen cities like Ferguson, Baltimore, McKinney, and the tragedy in Charleston, South Carolina flame up in rebellion against police brutality and the complicity of the criminal justice system. Many voices in our community have raised concerns or have been outright hostile. But I think queers would do well to remember that our modern rights movement has stemmed from a riot. Our community is no stranger to shutting things down when necessary. From the Gay Liberation Front shutting down the APA's conference right before they made and many HIV positive people owe their lives to the militant activism of ACT UP. It reminds me of a quote that I'm going to read from Mario Savio. There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon the old apparatus. And you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it and to the people who own it that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all. And in closing, I just want to say that we, as a new frontier of the queer rights movement, we stand in unconditional solidarity with Black Lives Matter for unrestricted, free abortion on demand and without apology, for free access to pre-exposure prophylaxis to anyone who feels that they need it and without judgment, and most importantly, we do not tolerate racism, sexism, transphobia in our community at all. Thank you, comrades.